GSTR 2B. What is GSTR 2B? All of us know about GSTR 2B. So what is GSTR 2B? GSTR 2A is an auto-populated statement. Likewise, GSTR 2B is also an auto-populated statement according to the data filed by the suppliers. So what is the difference between 2A and 2B? For 2A, there is no particular time period, we could say. It's dynamic, it's always changing. There is no locked period for that particular form. There is no locked period for that particular form. What is a locked period? What is a locked period? A locked period means a particular tax period, we could say. The return filing date. Normally, the GSTR 2B is locked in between the 12th of one calendar month to the 11th of the succeeding calendar month. It's a tax period for a regular taxpayer. But what we can say, 2A is not locked at all. 2A is not locked at all. It is dynamic. It always changes and it's very difficult for us to reconcile the same. Let us go through the portal relating to GSTR 2B. Let us go through the portal. So just have a look at the screen. We can see the financial year and the return filing period here. So we are just searching, we are just selecting it. The financial year is there, we are selecting 2020-21. Then we are selecting the concerned month. So it is August. So we are searching it. Just have a look at the screen, you can see that. So we have it here. Just scroll down, you can see the auto drafted ITC statement GSTR 2B. We are clicking on that. So here the company name, we could say the GST and everything is there, and ITC available, ITC not available. The eligibility is mentioned there. Here the ITC available is mentioned there and ITC not available is mentioned there. In part A and part B. So we can elaborate that or we can expand it. So the B2B invoices, B2B debit notes, B2B invoice, B2B debit notes. So we can see the differences. Let's go through the B2B invoices. Supplier wise details are given there with the GST numbers. So let us go through each and every heading. All other ITC supplies from registered persons, inward supplies from ISD, then inward supplies for reverse charge and import of goods. Then in part B, ITC reversal. Credit may be reversed in relevant headings in GSTR 3B and then others. So here ITC not available is also mentioned. You cannot take the ITC for that particular transaction. You are not eligible to avail the ITC. But the transaction is already uploaded by the supplier. It is being displayed in 2A and 2B also. Here also it is displayed. The problem is you cannot avail that because you are ineligible for that. In some situations you cannot avail the ITC because you are ineligible for that. For example, a vehicle purchased. So you have purchased a car for your company. You are not using that particular car for transportation. It is for passenger transport, not for goods transportation. The vehicles which are not being used for goods transportation, they cannot avail ITC. If they are using, if you are purchasing a pickup van, it's fine. Otherwise, it's a problem. If you are not purchasing a pickup van, you are purchasing a car for your personal use or even company use, you cannot claim the input tax credit. So the ineligible part will be displayed here in GSTR 2B. According to the nature of your business, the website, the portal itself will identify whether that particular transaction is eligible or not. If it's ineligible, you cannot avail ITC of the same. So we should be extra careful while checking the GSTR 2B, and accordingly, if you are filing your GSTR 3B every month after checking GSTR 2B, the advantage is that you will not be claiming too much ITC beyond the limit. You will not be able to claim ITC or the input tax credit in which you are not eligible. Your eligibility criteria does not permit you to take that input tax credit beyond the limit. So it's very important. If you are not taking the input tax credit which is not eligible for you, the chances of getting notices in future, it will be very less. Otherwise, if you are taking input tax credit beyond a limit and you are liable to pay tax, or you have to reverse the transaction, or you have to repay the amount to the government, to the GST department, because you were not eligible to avail that input tax credit. So to reconcile your input tax credit status, GSTR 2B helps you. And in future, what they are going to do, I mean the GST department is going to, they are going to link this GSTR 2B with GSTR 3B. So your available ITC will be automatically updated with the GSTR 3B. So you don't have to worry about, or you don't have to be tense about your eligible ITC. The system itself will display the eligible ITC. So you don't have to worry about your eligible ITC in future. Now look at the screen, you can see ITC not available. Here the topics are empty, but the figures will come if there are any transaction. As I have mentioned earlier, for example, you have purchased a car and it's an ineligible transaction where you cannot claim the ITC. So look at the screen, now it's showing empty and you cannot claim ITC, that's for sure. You are not supposed to claim ITC for these kind of transactions, like purchasing a vehicle which is for passenger transport. Here no transactions are being displayed. On the screen you can see there are no transactions because this particular company have no ineligible ITC, ITC not available. That table is empty and you are clicking on that particular table, it is empty. Available ITC is always there, ineligible ITC is not there. So what we have to remember is GSTR 2B is entirely different from GSTR 2A. GSTR 2B is dynamic and GSTR 2A is static. It remains permanent. When we are comparing GSTR 2A and 2B, the main difference is about the period. There is a cut-off date for, there are two cut-off dates for GSTR 2B, but for GSTR 2A there is no cut-off date. It starts from the date, one particular date where you are filing the return. I mean the supplier is filing the return and it is getting auto-populated. It goes on like that. But there is a cut-off date for GSTR 2B, and about the eligibility also it is being mentioned. So GSTR 2B is an authentic or label form where the recipient can reconcile his eligible ITC for a particular tax period. For a regular taxpayer, you will be knowing the tax period is one calendar month. So that particular calendar month, for that particular calendar month, how much ITC can be availed. So you can verify the previous month's ITC details in the successive month by checking GSTR 2B. So the eligible details, or the supplier wise details, you can have a look at the screen. Here the documents details are there. You can have the table, select table to view details. You can select supplier details or document details, eligible ITC, ineligible ITC, ITC available or ITC not available. So accordingly you can decide whether this ITC can be taken or not. ITC not available means you are not supposed to show that particular ITC as available ITC while filing your 3B. If it's eligible, it's not a problem, you can avail it, but you have to double check. You should have a questionnaire in front of you regarding the eligible and ineligible ITCs. Even GSTR 2B is there, you have to make sure that you are not availing ITC more than the eligible ITC. You have to double check the same anyway. We have the report, but in future anyway, as I mentioned earlier, in future definitely they are going to link this particular GSTR 2B with GSTR 3B, and the data in GSTR 2B will be auto-populated in GSTR 3B. So you don't have to worry about or you don't have to type manually the eligible ITC while filing your GSTR 3B. It will automatically get reflected in that particular return, your monthly return, and when you are paying the tax, the eligible ITC will be shown in GSTR 3B in future. As of now, that feature is not available, but in future we can expect that particular feature. So just have a look at the screen. Taxable inward supplies received from registered persons. It's B2B. So there are all tables are here. The summary is here. The GST of the supplier, trade name, number of records, taxable value, IGST, CGST, SGST is applicable, and GSTR 1 filing period, that is also there. So all the details are mentioned there. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to verify that you are eligible to take the ITC for that particular transaction. So it is logged in between a period from 12th of the particular calendar month to 11th of the succeeding calendar month, not successive, succeeding calendar month. So that log period you can check, and the eligibility also can be verified with the help of this particular form, and it makes it easy for you to identify whether the transaction is eligible for ITC or not.